Oregon fighting for the title of the state with the most restrictive gun control laws in America on today's AK Show. Okay, so Senate Bill 501, the product of students, a lot of pot in Oregon, a bunch of nonsense about gun control that supposedly is going to work in Oregon, even when it's been proven it doesn't work in any other state in the country. Oregon is now fighting for the title of the state in America with the strictest gun control laws. Senate Bill 501, the product of Senator Wagner and Representative Salinas out of Oregon, and we have a Democrat-controlled House and Senate there, so it'll be really interesting to see what happens. I got out of Oregon just in time, apparently, although I do still have an office there. I wish I could help them. But what the problem is with this law is that this is a sign to the rest of us in this country as well of what's coming. This is a Bloomberg-funded bunch of garbage, and I wish I could have the last 30 minutes of my life back that I spent reading this. What are we going to do about it, folks? We're going to have to fight to protect the Second Amendment. This law is so restrictive, it would mean that we who live in Oregon or go there and have firearms can't even practice to the point that we would be good at shooting at what we're shooting at, because we're limited to 20 rounds of ammunition in 30 days. So they don't want gun owners in Oregon apparently to hit the target. They don't want you to have a gun at all. And they're limiting you to magazines that are restricted to 5 rounds and being able to buy 20 rounds in a month, maximum. Oh, and you have to pass a background check in order to do it. Law enforcement can't like this. This is garbage. They know it's garbage. Law enforcement now has the burden of deciding through a sheriff. A single person is being put in charge through this proposed legislation to decide if someone is a risk to themselves or others. If the sheriff has reasonable grounds to believe that the applicant has been or is reasonably likely to be a danger to self or others, or to the community at large, as a result of the applicant's mental or psychological state, or as demonstrated by the applicant's past pattern of behavior involving unlawful violence or threats of unlawful violence. What is law enforcement supposed to do with this? What kind of liability are we putting on them if somebody does get a gun and commits a crime? This is not good. This is a problem. It is restricting our Second Amendment in a way that we cannot allow, and Oregonians need to get together and fight this as much as they possibly can. So what's the hope here? I mean, we saw New York restrict ammunition in magazines to 7 rounds, and the courts overturned it. Is there a prayer that the courts would overturn this? It's not clear. We need a strong Supreme Court, and we need to get these cases to the Supreme Court, and we need to start fighting back. This is the product of people who, like this Rob Wagner in Oregon, states that he's protecting the vulnerable people in his state. That is a bunch of garbage. The most vulnerable people sometimes are senior citizens. What means do they have to defend themselves? This guy isn't living in the real world. I've lived in the real world. I've prosecuted criminals. I've seen them break into homes, rape, sodomize, beat senior citizens who, if they had had a firearm, could have defended themselves. So his attempt here to help these students who think that they know what's best and make a change for Oregonians by supposedly protecting seniors and youth and vulnerable citizens is not true, and it's misleading the public, and it is doing a disservice to all of us. So besides the ammunition limits and the permits for getting any kind of a firearm in Oregon, there's a 14-day waiting period. This bill also has a requirement that you keep your guns locked up. You know, dear criminal, please wait a moment while I get my gun out. All the normal nonsense that we know and has been proven by other states who have passed this kind of stuff, that it doesn't work. But somehow we're supposed to believe that if it passes in Oregon, it will work. Good luck with that. I'm Alex A.K. Kincaid. Thank you for watching The A.K. Show. This is Alex A.K. Kincaid, and thank you for watching The A.K. Show.